Rest in peace to all the homies. Yeah, money was the motive. Hood couldn't hold me. 100K made man, suckers looking phony. Yeah, cheers to the real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace, peace, peace. What's poppin'? It's the one and only Mr. Tom Brody. You just tuned in. It's the Cheers to the Real podcast. What's going on, man? Right now, I'm here with the one and only PHE Films. We're going to discuss, you know, all the details and in and outs of cinematography and how you two can make an amazing video. You know what I mean? So once again, peace, my brother. What's good?
What's good, my man? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
A fire-ass setup, man.
By all means, pour a drink.
Yeah.
By all means, by all means, by all means. So what's going on, man? What's new? How you handling COVID?
You know, just listening to what my girlfriend has to say. You feel me? She told me to put on a mask. I put on a mask.
Listen, you gotta do what wifey says.
Exactly. So,
I never knew back in the days when people older the cats used to be like, "Yo, happy wife, happy life."
Exactly. And bro, they're usually right. She look like, you know, she looks out for my health more than I do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, it's a stat. Married men tend to be a little bit healthier, and I wonder why, right?
Yeah, yeah. But aside from that, you know, taking it one day at a time, but still, you know, trying to live life and staying positive and controlling what I can control. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that I can't control, not just, you know,
absolutely
let that be. But I'm trying to remain peaceful.
Staying blessed, staying motivated,
yes, sir.
As always.
Yes,
you know?
sir.
But let's get a little background for the listeners and for the whole premise, so people can understand. All my guests that come up are passionate artists. You know what I mean? They're people that cultivate this New York music scene. And he's up here as someone who's a professional at what he does with cinematography. He's worked with a lot of artists, and you know, let's give people a background. I know you got the actual space in Williamsburg.
Yes, sir. Free Studios. So that's where I get like this whole like PH thing. Like, it's a big part of my identity. Of course. You know, growing up, I always felt special. And yeah, so I actually, you know, grew up editing. I was fortunate enough to have a computer in my crib. And in addition to that, it had like more than just like the solitaire game. I have Photoshop and shit. So
solitaire game.
Yeah, I have, you know, I have Photoshop, and that's something that I enjoy doing. My dad was the local videographer,
right?
Late 80s, early 90s. He was doing in the Lower East Side in Brooklyn, everybody's like Sweet 16 weddings in the Latino market.
That's amazing that he passed that tutelage down.
Word.
There's a lot of people in our fragment of society that I think they don't have the essence of maybe mom or dad kind of cultivating a career platform. You know what I mean? And moving forward, we're in a digital age where
crazy,
it's next level.
It's crazy. So I always knew how to edit. I always knew how to like use Premiere Pro, Photoshop. Like 14, 15 years old, I was editing weddings.
Damn. But
to me, it was boring because I'm editing a wedding, you know, and of people I don't know, don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking the church portion is 2 hours long, is in Spanish, and I gotta sit through that and chop up that footage, and it's just like, I don't know what to do here. Like I you know, I wanted to do music videos and stuff like that, but
although weddings, I will admit, they're always willing to drop a good penny.
Facts. Facts. No, that's definitely
a good snap.
No, that's one of those services that, like, you know, videographers and photographers, they come up. That's like a window,
a crazy $1 billion
an outlet.
Be behind the business, right? It's like,
yeah, even to this day,
renting the cars, renting the space, renting the hall, the food.
Yo, but weddings is so high pressure. I don't really enjoy doing it too much. It's just so high pressure, you know. It's just like, and it's so intimate, so personal, and but I have fun sometimes, and depending on, it depends on the family and the weddings, you know. Every family celebrates differently. But
I would think you catch a lot of crazy stories with weddings.
So I always had this talent editing, and but didn't think anything of it. I went away to school, and you know, I was just in the mindset of like, you know, getting like a traditional job and like just doing that type of shit, because I followed the, you know, I followed the advice of my parents of do good in school, you go to college, and this and the third. But so I always had this talent in my back pocket, and would occasionally, you know, do some art with some people, or you know, when I'm bored by myself or whatnot.
And that's something to highlight. The reason he is here is because he's very in tune to this whole underground you know, culture that's popping off.
That's where I get my swag from. You feel me?
Like, a lot of artists. You know, when one is cultivating a video to give the listener a tip of how hard it is, and that's just me being an artist and you working with artists, it's not as easy as someone may think.
No,
right?
And especially when it's your first one, or like when you don't do it often. And so like it's such a big deal to you because it's your first music video, and
super big deal.
You haven't even figured out how you like to behave or how you want to see yourself behave in front of the camera.
High expectations.
You know what I'm saying? You realize that your boys don't really rock with your music, you know, because they're not popping out the way you thought that they were gonna pop out. You know what I'm saying? So like, and a lot of artists take it personal, but you should actually earn your fan base. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
funny you say that. So let's dive into that a little deeper. So, if you were giving someone critique and criticism as a young artist coming up, do you think what are some of the things that they're trapping themselves on? Should they really be focused on these micro details, or should they really be more concentrating on the effort and the energy of what they're doing?
Yes, that the effort and energy that they're doing, they should just be focusing on getting better, whatever that means to them. Right. And then they should also you know, determine early what metrics are they using to determine the success of what they're doing. Because if you're using numbers like, oh, I need Instagram followers, YouTube views, and this and that, if you're playing to that game, it's gonna be a lot harder because you're always feeling like you're drowning. You know what I'm saying? But if you just focus on doing your shit and
I agree,
and just getting one fan a day, then you know it will happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it will happen.
See, I think a lot of people in my era and cut from my cloth are very hell-bent on amazing videos, right? So we have a younger generation, a lot of like-minded people that I love and support. They're very opposite of these high-end videos, and they go so underground and so low-key with it, where they feel like, you know what, we could just do this off the phone. And for them, it's almost like that spirit. It's the same thing of, you know what, I got the movement, the block support, and all I have is $500, but I got this great outfit, great song, and we're gonna rock. I'm gonna get his car, I'm gonna get, you know, his peoples, a few females, and we're gonna rock.
And that's so fire, bro. And I don't even get mad at like videographers charging whatever they charge, because I get it. And it's in particular in hip hop that you see it, because hip hop is the poor man's genre. You feel me? You can't, either in the hood, you can't be a part of a rock band because you need a fucking electric guitar, you need a drum set, but if you live in apartment 6C, you know what I'm saying, with three brothers and sisters, where they gonna put that drum set at?
That's
you know,
it.
like,
have my little sister do the beatbox. Like, let's go.
So the cost of entry to hip hop is lower. So it's like easier to do. And
so where young artists getting caught up, where like I'm a consumer of everything. So I see my critique is when I see a lot of the videos that are coming out, the one thing I do give them is there's a lot of consistency.
Yes.
So if you're critiquing someone who's listening to this, who is like a first-time artist, is going to put their first video out, should you tell them, listen, be less concerned about all these details, just put it out?
Yeah, but a lot of them are doing what their favorite artists are doing. So like, and they're just trying to mimic that, and they have to be resourceful. Like, you know, if you're 17 years old, you can't afford to rent out a nice a car to be in your music video, or fucking Peerspace to make that video that much more dynamic.
I agree.
So when you're young, you got to be resourceful, and you know, that's why, you know, a lot of people do the hood music video, just like I'm using my home environment as my location.
100% factual and actual, man. But and just being.
But I think that will only get you so far. You do that one time, cool. You do that one time, cool. Like, that's the thing. You can't look at that one piece of content that's gonna sum up your whole thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just one thing. You just did that. You just did that phase. Okay, what's next? And that's the thing, is like sometimes people even, they over promote the one thing that they did for 6 months, spamming the gram. Like, we seen that promo clip, bro. Like, come on. Like I seen the video already.
I'll be honest, there's a lot of that, and it makes me wonder, is it the consumer or is it the artist? Because I gotta wonder, if I'm an artist and you're okay with me putting out this body of work, and I'm still getting my little, you know, 10, 15, 25,000 views, that's great organically, right?
Yes, organically, that's, you can make a living off of that. If you only need 1,000 fans to get it popping, and then you just gotta learn how to 360 your business. You do certain shit on. There you go. I mean, I think you know, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, they always say that, like, they're just the commercial, they're they're just a walking commercial or whatever.
Right.
So for whatever thing that you're representing. And so yeah, so you start doing merch and and shows, and you know, and maybe somebody downloads your single, but that's not gonna get you rich. But like having a community who's willing to buy, you know, the experiences that you put, that could, you know what I'm saying, put a nice penny in your pocket.
I think that's one thing,
or at least break even with the art, that because you know being an artist is expensive. You know, you have to go to a studio and make music, and it's just like, yo, I just spent $200 on this studio session. I guess I'm gonna drop this song, even though it's not that good, it's not that whatever, but you pay for it, and you feel like that you got to put it out. And because I'll be honest,
we're living in an age where, you know, people that own these big studios, you know, whether it be from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the high-end places that we all know, they're even struggling because the average artist doesn't seem the need. They're not seeing that, you know, let me spend the 60, 50 an hour. Why do this when I could just go to my man's crib in the basement, record nonstop,
and they can
smoke a spliff a while out,
and they can.
And I tip my hat off because these younger kids in that generation keep proving me wrong, because they're proving that if you do have the momentum, you do have your audience, your core people supporting you, the quality is not as important as the actual content and the body of what you're doing. So to me, that's amazing, man. I always salute my hat off to people that's grinding like that, because not everybody has the 5K for this fucking impeccable, you know, video.
Well, that's because people, they're I guess I will call them part-time artists. Like they don't really, a lot of people don't really put in effort. They like the imagery of it. They like to be, you know, they like to present themselves as, but when nobody's looking, they're not doing that shit. They're watching every Netflix show. They over there, and nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that either, because, you know, I have my leisure time as well. But what I mean to say is,
growth.
Never in their downtime, they're really actually working on this shit. And if they do, is like 1 hour, and that justifies the work that they did for the week, for the month. Like, nah, you got to put in, to be a full-time job, you got to put in 8 hours. If you're not putting 8 hours in your craft every day, then you're not doing it. You're not, you are, depending how you define it, but I guess my definition, which you don't have to accept, but.
Yeah, I hear you. You gotta be living that shit.
Yeah, yo, but I think it's definitely time. I want to just like introduce my man Verbal McMahon, who's an artist that I make a lot of content for. So it was super dope that you invited me here and told me to pull up with Verb. I make content for both of you guys, and you know, we're about that. We're about we're about the art, and we're also about the art business, and trying to find a balance of all of it. So, and
it's not and once again, you could pay testament, introduce yourself, you know, let everybody know you're here.
Yes, sir. What's good? Verbal McMahon, you know, aka Verb.
And again, this is another passionate artiste that comes up that I like what he's doing, and it's something that I told you outside. I said that it's a shame that New York is one of those places that, for whatever reason, that just the collective does not support each other. You know, when I've lived in South Carolina, you know, my people down in Tampa, even in LA, their alleged underground supports each other like crazy.
Yeah.
Whether it's buying the merch, whether it's the song, to each other's shows. I mean, even the art show I did at Your Space, you know, I had people pull me to the side. They said, yo, you're bringing people from different walks of life. You got a skateboarder here. You got your man, a graffiti writer.
No, that shit was crazy.
You know, and that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Because you should be touching different genres of different aspects of hip hop, you know. And I think a lot of people are boxed in. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're at the show. You guys did work together. What videos you guys did together? You did a few, right?
Yeah, too many to name, to be honest. And I'm also responsible for the production behind. He also has a series called VTV, where, like, you know, I do some behind the scenes of just like diversifying the type of content you put out, because like you know, sometimes you need to fall in love with the artist before you can fall in love with their craft, or it needs to be, there's like some sort of you gotta like both. You know, there's a lot of times where like I hear a song, I'm like, all right, that's cool, but I gotta see an interview to see if I really rock with this person.
You think the attention span of the consumer, not the artist, the consumer, you think their attention span has diminished?
No. I just think it depends on the content that you consume, because but it's proven though. You see like Joe Rogan podcast, that shit 3 hours and a half. That's a Titanic movie, bro. And but the thing is, you get to watch it on your own pace. You could pause. You can go back to it. But so
it seems like the consumers, more so with hip hop, I feel like, I don't know, maybe they get so caught up in these mini micro clips.
I was gonna say yes.
Right?
In terms of musically and especially in the hip hop, people don't want to hear a 5-minute song. People don't want to watch a 5-minute music video. People want the Instagram 59 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And even that, they'll watch the first 10 and scroll.
So then let's take that even further. So who's to blame? Is it us, the consumer? Is it us, the artists? Like, how is it that you put so much effort into your body of music that's going to be more than 60 seconds? You put this all in, but yet the consumer that you're pitching it to, that you're hoping at some capacity is going to buy this, they're only barely giving you a minute.
Well,
so you have a minute to impress somebody, whether it's visually with videos or, you know, with the audio and rapping.
I think a lot of it has to do with oversaturation. So
well said.
Everyone and their grandmother is a rapper. Everyone and they mother is.
That's a fact, bro.
You know
because I remember growing up. I'm not even gonna lie. For you to say that you was a rapper back in the days was like a big deal, bro.
Right.
Spit something right now.
So your man on the block, like, yeah, he rap. Oh shit, that was a big deal, son.
Where today it's like, you say I rap, and everyone's like, of course you rap, you know?
It's like a given,
so
right?
It's, of course, everyone raps. So when you on the gram and you scrolling, you done seen 10, 15, 20 dudes rapping already.
Fact.
I don't care to see the 21st one anymore, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, so part of the blame is the artists. Artists who just flooded and it's just too much, and it's whack shit.
No, you're right.
It's not like flooding with like gems, it's flooding with like,
And it's wild because I guess me being an artist, and I know the pain of sitting there with a pad and pen and banging your head for original thought and ideas. I know that labor of love, hands down, right? So when people DM me, you know what I mean, and they, you know, yo, Brody, check this. I actually take the time, you know what I mean, and I be checking shit, and that's just me being me. I be keeping a buck with people. There's people that I think are horrible, horrendous, straight basura that I'm like, yo, fam, get that out of here. And I'm like, yo, fam, you need to go back with that, son. You need to come harder, son.
Or maybe they just got a different fan base, and that's that.
That's,
you know, not everything.
Because I be like, we ain't checking for that.
Word.
That's not it. But then you get other dudes who I think are like straight A1, and then I'll go on their gram, and I'm like, you got 400 followers? I'm like, what's popping out here, son?
Yeah, but there's people, you could be talented at something, but just not good at marketing yourself.
And I say that the same, and you and I have had this argument when I'm like picking your brain as I'm a therapist and shit, that I sit there and I'm like, there needs to be a fine line that people need to understand, that just because someone has fucking, you know, 60,000 followers on the gram does not mean they're moving a single fucking song in real life.
Well, it depends if it's a good 60,000 or a bad 60,000, because they both exist. Because you could have a 60K of a thorough audience that's like, you know, it's real. 100%. You feel me? You have a nice community. You have a community.
I feel like the majority don't.
You can also have a fake 60K.
That's what it is. I think there's a lot of hollow 60Ks, and I think
there's a lot of hollows.
And like, it's obvious too.
But the optics are very deceiving, because I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I've even peeped a few people that, like I mentioned that dude Milo. I never heard him before in my life, right? So my man dropped it on me. He said, yeah, XYZ. Who is this dude? I checked. I saw the numbers. I was like, what? But then I saw the content and I was like, oh shit. So it's a catch-22, because there were people like yourself who are grinding, and I think, you know, we're like A alike, B alike. So you're more concerned about the quality of content and the artistry as opposed to the back end numbers.
Definitely.
That is to be fucking commended, my brother.
Thank you. Word.
Because I think a lot of people, and trust me, I always be killing him with this shit. I think a lot of people approach me on the regular, like they do with you, of these amazing fucking schemes that you could provide for me, and I'm like, fam, if it's either you popping and you got it or you don't got it. You can't. There's no trick in the system. And I think a lot of people, and I want the audience, when you listen to this, I don't care if it's work. I don't care if you mopping floors. I don't care if you cleaning toilet bowls. You can't jerk the work. You know what I mean? It's either you doing it or you're not doing it.
Facts.
And your boss is gonna know. That Lord knows I had some shitty fucking jobs before.
Word.
Like some really shitty jobs.
Right.
And they'll look at me.
But you flipped that.
I had to do it, son. Why? Because it's like, yo, I gotta pay rent. I gotta do this shit. I gotta, you know, put a little elbow into it.
You had to do what you had to do until you can make your next move.
And I say that to say, I don't care if we're talking cinematography, if you're a writer, if you're trying to do screenplays. If you really love that shit and you live in it and you love it, then we need to see outcome. There needs to be that vibration. Because a lot of people throw...
You need to see effort.
Yeah, man. A lot of people throw these hollow comments into the stratosphere of yeah, I'm about to do this,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
about to do that, and
don't
I'm
even listen
finna
to
do
those.
this. Like, you ain't finna do nothing.
But
You know
that's
what I
how
mean?
like people feel like they have to present themselves that way.
Yep.
They have to oversell themselves that way. They have to seem booked and busy all the time. But my thing is just like when you actually put in the work, you can identify other people who actually put in the work. So like that's why and
agree with
then
you.
on top of that, it's just like, and then if you are, you know, and if you getting fooled by somebody's, you know, like
See, but it's
razzle
that-
dazzle, then
yeah,
that's like
it's that- it's
I
that
can't.
magic
Come
trick
on,
that I don't like,
Like,
son. It's that hocus pocus, like fucking fairy dust shit. Like you spraying a little fairy dust on some wax
I don't
shit.
even have enough time to pay attention to that. You
you-
feel
yeah,
me?
you-
But I do know
ain't
as
lie.
but maybe I do though. Maybe I'm just talking my shit right now because I'm talking my shit. But like, but maybe there is a version of that exists in my stuff. But I'm just so about, I just think that there's an abundance of everything, especially here in New York City. Like, you know, there's 8 million people here. You know what I'm saying? Put in the work to get 2,000 fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's okay and it's understandable that the people you know are not fans of your stuff yet. But you gotta earn your shit, bro.
Right.
Earn your shit. Like,
Right.
I also just want to say, like, I don't think that that's necessarily the metric either to determine one's success.
In the
or,
sense of what when we say metric, we mean numbers on the gram,
right? Or how many views you got, how many followers you got. Because, you know, I've watched videos, I've heard songs that had 2 streams that were 1 million times better than a video or a song that had.
See, that's the rapper in you. That's
10
that's the
million
lyricist
streams.
in you. That you're like, yo, let me hear some bars,
Like,
fam.
It really is, 'cause like you were saying, like the quality, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got these videos on YouTube with 10 million streams and the shit is doo-doo. Basuda, like you said.
I think the last video that you guys put out, that you kind of riding around in LES.
Oh, the native video.
Nate, there you go. That shit is better than fucking 85% of the shit I've seen now.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and that's
and I say that to say, both you guys are native New Yorkers, obviously, right?
yes, sir.
Born and raised where? Let's get that out of the clear.
Alphabet City, Lower
Lower
East
East
Side.
Side,
See what I'm
LES,
saying?
all
LES.
day. At 6 borough.
I ain't gonna lie, son. LES is one of those places that like 80s, like early 80s when I used to go float around through there, son. Dangerous neck of the
Shit,
woods.
wicked, right?
man.
Wicked.
Dangerous neck of the woods.
Yeah, my parents tell me all the time, like, oh,
Dangerous neck of the woods.
shit. Yeah, man.
You get got quick.
Yeah, man. Even in our time a little bit, early 90s when we was kids and shit growing up, it was still grimy, very grimy.
Do you see the difference just with your optics? Do you see the difference in New York between, let's just say, mid 90s when you guys are in, you know, coming up till now? Do you see a difference?
Of course.
You think it's
Of
softer?
course.
You think it's
I just think it's different, and I think you will see the difference of New York if you compare it to the 80s and the 50s. It's just like shit is always evolving.
because I
And-
definitely hear it in the
Yes.
music. I definitely the one thing I will say is if I just came home and I was locked up for 15 years and I
Word.
came home, I'd be like, what happened to hip hop?
Yep.
Whoa, this shit
Yep.
is banana.
Nah,
Not
the
to
new
say
shit
it's
is
whack.
good too, though.
And,
It's changed.
And I'm not bashing nobody because there's things that my little ones be putting me on. My little peoples from Tampa and all my little
Yep.
sons, they put me on to shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this shit is fire, son. You know what I mean?
And you put them onto stuff too that's more historical to them, and
know
you
me,
need
son.
and that's a great role to play as well. You know what I'm saying?
I be
You just
trying to
gotta
be the
be
bridge.
acceptive to everything. You feel me?
Correct.
It's like there's no rules and there's no everything is black and white and it has to be this or that. It's just like people are complex people and they respond to certain
Yeah.
scenarios for different reasons. So you can't try to figure it all
Nah,
out
they in
because
that-
everything is
they
case
in
by case.
that 16 to 18 category, and for them, everything is drill. Like drill. Everything is drill.
Or dance moves.
You feel it? Like hard. And I get it because I be down there when I hear it, I'm like, I get it. But it's such a slow up for me. Cause I guess I'm used to that New York, you know,
Bars,
yeah,
spin.
son. I'm used to that Rakim, that Nas,
yep.
that spit. But again, you go to certain other places, they swagging it, son.
Yep.
You go to Texas, it's a certain like laid back swag.
That's dope. I like
son.
that every region has its own flavor, and
you
it
know
should be
what?
like that.
I agree with you.
And I also like that the internet is also, you know, integrating different flavors. Like
But it's preventing New York from being New York, though. I think a lot of the artists that came up, I think they lost it. With an exception of a few artists, I think they lost that iconic New York identity. You know what I mean?
nah,
Like,
it's still out there.
You think so?
It's still out there.
I think it's still out there. I think what you're seeing or what you're hearing is New York rappers are starting to realize that other regions, other places, the way they rap and the styles they got are being accepted and being enjoyed and being paid for. So you got New York dudes who now want to maybe sound a little bit like dude from Atlanta or dude from Cali or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I will admit, I never heard of Mo3, the dude that passed away from Texas. I didn't know who he was until he just passed away. I heard the music. I thought the dude was fucking phenomenal.
really,
Phenomenal. He had like the now sound, but like, I'm not even gonna say Drake, because I guess Drake is like the originator of that kind of sing melody scatting.
That's like,
Yeah, like he's that scatting kind of thing. He took it to the hard, you know what I mean? And to me, it'd be funny how people, I guess, piggyback off something, but I guess it's a compliment, because if something is hot, they're gonna take it, repackage it. They're gonna do the China okey doke to it and make it their own.
But even the goats got influenced by somebody.
Yes.
That's a fact.
So that's how it is. And I also like being influenced by different regions. I think it's dope that A$AP Rocky has like a Houston like chop and screw influence or whatever.
There's not, yo, and we all travel. And I will say this, like when I go out to LA, when I go to Miami, even when I leave the country and you go to the Caribbean, you go to other places other than Europe, they, you know, a whole different swag, but they don't really bang a lot of New York artists. And the New York artists that they do bang are like, you be like,
the world is too big to just bang New York artists. You know what I'm saying? And there's different artists that are just nice from anywhere.
See, we had The Crown at one point.
Yeah.
See, I'm looking at the cup when it was half full. Yeah. We had The Crown where it was like we were known for lyricism. We were known when it comes down to that street poetry,
New York
lyricism,
rap,
that New York
rap.
Well, better yet, right? I'm cut from the boom bap kind of cloth. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's hardcore boom bap.
Yep.
Now, you know, I guess it's multi. You know what I mean? But so I'm curious. So in the stream of rap, what are some of your favorite hip hop videos?
Hip hop music videos.
Yeah.
Like all time.
All time.
I know
there's a lot.
Off rip, I think Missy Elliott Can't Stand the Rain with Timberland, where she got like she look like she in the garbage bag and she's like floating, she's up in the clouds and shit.
That's a dope video.
Rain. Yeah.
That's a dope video.
Yeah, that's some other sick shit.
Hold on, we got a phone call. We're gonna.
Oh snap!
Yo, fam.
Special appearance.
I'm live right now.
Oh my goodness.
You in front? I'm gonna have somebody come get you.
As far as
Yo, Scott, can you go get this guy? Thank you, brother.
as far as you know, that's a very tough question because it's hard for me to even process that information. Like my brain is still rendering. But I'm gonna work backwards and I'm gonna choose some of my favorite artists and I'm gonna try to think of my favorite video that they had and shit. So like
I will make you laugh. Growing up, and I think anyone under the age between 35 and maybe 45 could get this. Bro, I used to run home to watch videos, right?
yeah, the BET countdown, the fucking 106 in Park.
A fact. We used to run home and watch this shit because this was, again, hip hop wasn't as global.
When there was no YouTube.
Right.
It was, well, no, you're right. There was no YouTube.
Yeah,
no,
YouTube came out 05.
That first Wu-Tang video, son, Protect Your Neck. When I look at it now, son, it looks wow, bootleg, right?
I mean, it is. It was.
But this goes back to what you said. The content is there, right? You can't knock it. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna be like, "This shit is
the illest
hard.
shit.
It's the illest shit,
The illest
right?"
shit.
Someone looking for I guess a certain quality might be turned off on it. You know what I mean? And it's funny because hip hop, I don't know, it's so weird. Like the more rugged and more like raw, the more we love that shit.
Oh, there's something special about it. You feel me?
Even
Because you
beats.
hear a certain hunger. Yeah.
Even beats,
Yes, sir.
right?
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
It might be me as an artist. I tend to prefer these up and coming producers that have that raunchy kind of basement.
Yep, grimy.
with the
Doesn't sound too
grimy
manufactured.
ass, son.
Doesn't sound-
Ugly face beats.
You be like,
Yep. Hell yeah, those the ones.
Yo, oh, that's a great tip to give to artists. If you making music, use original beats. Just use it. You know what I'm saying? Like really, if this is a song that you think you want to promote and like push
Right.
like that, use original beats.
right?
That's
right.
that's a nice little nugget right there.
I keep it funky.
And they're affordable now, bro. You can get some fire ass beats, $15. There's hungry ass producers who's putting it out
Bro,
there,
the
man.
one thing I
Just
will
support
say-
the fucking producer, my man. Stop being
Any
Hollywood and trying
artist
to be
listening
cheap.
to this right now.
Invest in your shit, bro.
This is a fact. If you're an artist listening to this right now, stop being a diva. Stop being lazy. I don't care if you sing, You females out there that sing, there's so many talented people I bump into every day that are native New Yorkers riding the train going to work, right? You dropped your craft, you picked up this 9-to-5 hustle. You need to get back on the grind. Stop playing games. The time is now. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of talented people out here that just fucking, you know, they fell back on their craft. But as far as best music videos, I want to throw a few out there.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Biz Markie, She's Just a Friend.
Old school.
Nice little storyline.
Bro, that's a great storyline, son.
Classic.
Classic, you know what I mean?
Super classic.
Tribe Called Quest, Scenario.
You know, they actually, so trivia, some people might notice, one of the scenes in Scenario is actually shot in LES, right on Avenue C. It's what currently is it's like the little precinct spot on 7th and C, 8th and C.
8th and C.
And in the video, there's nothing there. It's just like an empty lot, grass. You feel me? But that's that spot, filmed in the LES.
I used to smash a female on A. She on Avenue A.
Avenue A.
Every time I used to visit her, I'd be like, yo, man, like, shit is wild.
Shit, right.
I'm like, yo, they gonna get me out here.
Yeah.
I used to leave her crib like fucking 5 in the morning.
Oof.
In the city back then, yo, blessings to all the real New Yorkers, because I know what I'm gonna say. 5 in the morning in the Ville on like summer night, bro, you see all the aliens,
all the characters,
weirdos,
the freaks is out.
They are out. So when they say the freaks come out at night, yo, they was
that's what they talking about.
Walk around out there, son. Stop playing. But another one, I like the Far Side video, Drop. That shit is fire. They roll it upside down and, you know.
Oh, that's not the backwards.
Drop? Yeah.
It is. So that's the one that's in reverse.
Yep.
We use that as a reference once, Fee.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
the one that I think of is The Scientist by Coldplay. That was some backwards shit.
That's fucking fire, too. That's fire. At the time, the Ready or Not video, Fugees,
yeah.
Ready or Not. Well, that shit. Even though, when I look back on it, they said that was the first alleged video they spent, I think, $1 million on it.
Oh, yeah? First time?
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And the production, it costs more.
Yeah.
I got another video for you. Busta Rhymes, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See.
Fam.
When he's like in the glowy.
I'm gonna keep it thorough. I was living in South Carolina when that shit dropped. I was jumping off my neighbor's couch. I was like, this is why I gotta go back to New York.
Right.
I'm done with this shit. I'm going back.
He got like the tribal
elephants.
Yep, elephants and shit. That video is wild.
You got elephants, you got end midgets. I was like, I fuck with you, son.
Great video. Great music video.
Gas Face is another one I like. Third Base, Gas Face. Love that shit, son.
Super old school.
Going old school, son. You know what I mean?
I definitely, as I'm thinking about it, I'm leaning towards videos that had like a lot of visual effects. Like I'm thinking of Kid Cudi, Pursuit of Happiness.
That's a
fire.
dope. That's dope.
Fire.
That is a dope video. What's up with him too? Like I think he is more on the. I think he's so underrated. I think he's a.
Nah, he got people show him mad love. People, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but he's
people
not like
that.
If you walked around your average projects in New York and be like, name your top 5. I don't think Kid Cudi's coming.
Yeah, but that's understandable. But maybe he is though. Maybe he is.
But he is motivating some of your favorite artists.
Hell yeah, my man. He motivated Kanye.
Definitely.
Feel it?
Yeah, inspired Drake.
Yes.
But Cudi's main demographic is not dudes in NYC projects.
Yeah. Some stoners.
So they're not gonna put him on no top 5.
See, okay. As a listener of hip hop, is hip hop more fragmented now or more back in the days?
I think hip hop is so universal, bro, that like it's a little bit in everything. Right, it's the most popular genre. It passed rock and roll.
It's selling Hondas. It's selling.
So
Downey.
like I think hip hop is now pop music. Hip hop is not pop music, and I think it has so many subgenres within it. And I just think you in particular like a certain umbrella type of hip hop that you have preference to, the same way everybody else does.
Only because it would be no different than if I was a fucking 15-year-old in 2022. I think I would prefer that joint that I would have memories to. You know what I mean? Like first time you smash shorty on the roof.
That's why I always tell people I'm not a big fan of like greatest of all time lists.
People do this as an artist. They do this all the time to me, right? And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I like the culture so much that you got to give me a fragment. Like, are we talking about like abstract? Are we talking about street shit?
I think you got to pick albums. You just got to pick the album, because sometimes you could like a person in that moment. So like a Lupe Fiasco, like Food and Liquor, Lupe Fiasco and Lupe Fiasco look cool.
Is again
God tier to me, but now I like
Lupe is amazing,
and I'm he's probably still putting out fire shit, but I'm just not as in tune.
On a side note, is that true? Was Lupe like a race car driver or some shit?
I know he was definitely big into.
Someone just told me this like right before y'all came. Someone said he used, what was it, Ferrari or something?
I heard him going off on Ferrari, how it was like a maintenance company or some shit like that.
I heard that too.
With that.
Yo, but shout out to him. Yo, he's a fucking lyricist, hands down.
Yeah. He was a big influence in my life. You know what I'm saying? That I don't even know like a lot of behind the scenes people, but that album cover for the Food and Liquor shit, where he's like in space kind of and shit is floating all around him. Like, I even looked up the artist who did that, Chuck Anderson, and like I like looked at his shit, and like his shit is just fire. Like, that was just like a real
crazy
dope.
animes and shit.
Jay-Z executive produced that album. He got a J verse on the shit. Like, the album was fire.
I know I'm gonna say something blasphemous right now, and I know a lot of people are gonna kill me, but Jay-Z is not on my top 10.
That's okay, bro. There's so many artists out there that's okay.
I'm sorry, Brooklyn,
Listen,
but Jay-Z is not on my top 10.
I think that's absurd, but that's why I just said I don't do the whole greatest of all time list, because your top 10 is personal, it's sentimental to you.
Yeah.
And so
see, but we like growing up, even though like I'm a biracial kid growing up in the projects, me and my circle, we was always weirdos. Like, I was like the weird kid with dreads, a Kango straw hat, on a skateboard, you know, buzzing through the projects. They'd be like, this dude is a weirdo. You know what I mean? So when everyone was listening to NWA, I was listening to like Souls Mischief and De La Soul. And you know what I mean? Like, we was cut from like that. We were on that side of the fence.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Which is an important side, and we appreciate that, because
it's not until now that I think and I hate to say this because race is a big component, but I don't want to say this, but I think it was more of the whiter market that supported that abstract element.
What, the De La Soul and Tribe and those dudes. Yeah, because it's more relatable. NWA is talking about shooting at cops and shit.
Right.
So like the average, like you said, if you make
defund the police,
you feel me? The average white guy maybe ain't gonna be bumping "fuck the police," but they might want to bump.
Funny sidebar, right? So Felix knows I'm in healthcare. You know what I mean? My 9-to-5 hustle. So I'm in one of these local hospitals. You know, I'm talking to the doctor. Walk him downstairs. He's getting in his car. You know, $200,000 car. I'm like, all right. So Dr. Greenberg, it was a pleasure to meet you. Blah blah blah. He's getting in his car. He's like, hey, you need a ride anywhere? I'm like, nah, I'm good with your COVID card. You know what I mean? I'm good. I don't need a ride. He puts the ignition on, and he's listening to Nas.
Fire. Do you know what song it was?
I thought that was Bananas.
That's great.
I thought that was fucking crazy.
Hip-hop is universal. I got a question for you, Tom Brody, because I seen you go a different direction with your content the past 2 years, and I just wanted to know what was the shift in your shit. And then also I got a question in regards to your music videos, because you got music videos galore. Which one of your music videos is your favorite? And the same for Verb. I want to know what's Verb's favorite music video in general. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming my shit was.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm assuming my shit is the one that was it, because you used to direct your own shit. Tom Brody was a hustler though, and I fuck with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I will say I've worked, and I tell you this all the time. I've worked with different producers. I've worked with different cinematographers. Working with you was smooth because I think you are a realist, and I think that's because sometimes, and I know. When you deal with artists, you can kind of relate. Some people have this big, grandiose idea of how their video is going to be, and they don't realize, fam, it's not going to look like that.
Word.
You're not going to have the Lamborghini pull up down fucking Atlantic Avenue.
Even as simple as like, yo,
man doing wheelies.
I want to be in a restaurant arguing with a joint. You feel me? I was like, I bet what restaurant we going to do this in?
Not this winter.
And it
not happening.
Right.
Sorry, not happening, fam.
You actually, yo, like, you know, are they willing to spend money on a girl? Do like that? Like they just freeze up and like their idea is too big, and even worse, they try to portray an image that's not theirs, and that becomes unsustainable. Because when you making these music videos acting like you that dude, and then we know you in real life, and that you're not really operating in that frequency, it's kind of phony, bro. Like it's just kind of phony, and then it makes it hard for you to put out new content because you're supposed to be too cool to be doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the type of person that's supposed to always have jewelry, money, and this and that. And then
boxed in. You get boxed in.
A lot of those people, they worried about their image too much, man. More so than the music. They want a certain fan base. They want Meek Mill fan base. They want fucking Future fan base. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the crazy thing is that they do have fans that they probably ignore because it's not the person they wanted to be.
Yeah.
So not even paying attention to your own data, to your own, like, you know, fan base and shit. Like, you may think, you know, you want this fan base, but pay attention to who's actually reaching out to you when you drop something. You know what I'm saying? Because they're more likely to know somebody else who might like it, you know?
I think that's salesmanship 101 goes a long way. There are plenty of people that I listen to this day. I'd be like, yo, you should get in sales. I know plenty of people on the block. I'd be like, yo, you should get in sales. You need to stop doing this, and you need to come on this side of the fence. Because selling, you know, selling what you got and marketing, that's just where it's at.
But it's easy to sell truth.
Ooh. Feed with a fucking...
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I try to sell. I just try to sell the truth.
So you ever worked with an artist where you just wanted to fucking leave right there? You ever been with an artist that you're like, yo, my guy, I'm about to just give you the fucking money back?
Especially because I'm a real, like, you know, it takes a lot to annoy me or whatever, but like, you know, there's people's personality that can be overwhelming, especially when you're with them for over 5 hours. Whereas like I could have been with all of that for like 2 hours of it, a little dose of it, but like now it's just like, yo, like, shit.
Right.
I'd rather, you know what I'm saying?
I need to stop now.
I'd rather be by myself.
I hear you. I hear you. So, in keeping in the essence of cinematography, we always talk about like top 10 movies and what have you. But what honestly, what are some of your favorite movies?
The last movie that made me cry was Coco. You seen that shit?
Yeah,
that shit was fire, bro.
Surprised you said that, no doubt.
That's funny.
What are some of your?
I mean, off the top, you got like the classics, right? Like Casino, Goodfellas.
Ooh.
I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino guy, so I like Pulp Fiction.
Ooh. My wife is like, you're watching this again?
Yeah, I could recite that movie.
She's like, you watched this 40 times? I'm like, nah, you don't get
That's
it.
every movie's head's favorite fucking
it's
movie.
one of those. Yeah, but then you got some low-key joints. Like, you ever seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
No,
fire.
I would throw in the Truman Show. Now you threw Jim
Truman
Carrey
Show
in
fire.
The Truman Show is...
Truman Show to me is Jim Carrey's, you know, all-time great.
Is that not relatable now, though? Like
Yeah,
you're taking
more than
someone's
ever.
life?
More than ever.
I see this camera right in front of me right now.
More than ever.
Yo, the Truman Show, that's a down low joint right there. So most people don't know about the Truman Show.
Word up.
But a lot of the movies that I do like is not necessarily for the cinematography, it's for the story. You know what I'm saying? I like the story. You know, Remember the Titans. Fucking
That's a good one.
John Q. Like, it's not like John Q had like no epic
John
fucking
Q,
flick.
I ain't gonna front on that. Would be me. Yo, shout out to all the listeners that would be John Q in that
holding
scenario.
the hospital hostage
I would
and shit.
totally, I'll be like, yo, y'all ain't going nowhere. You taking care of my daughter.
What if I told you
Sit.
The Usual Suspects, which is actually where the name Verbal comes from. If
Little
you,
gem.
You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know.
Usual Suspects is fucking bananas, son.
Super crazy.
What was the name he dropped? Fucking
Kaiser Soze.
no, the other one. Shit. He has the cup and he sees the name on the
Kobayashi.
back. Kobayashi.
Yeah. He's just making it up as he goes.
Son, when I
Shit's
saw
wild.
that shit, I was like, yo, fam, that
That shit's
sounds
different.
like an MC. Stop
Right,
playing.
Kobayashi.
Son. Like, yo, with my man Kobayashi.
Damn, Verbal movie had like that. He was able to fucking grab that one.
Come on, man.
Kobayashi.
I wasn't a movie person growing up. So I just started watching some of the classics, like, you know, fucking Forrest Gump, and like, you know, shit like that. Even the hood shits, like,
Forrest Gump is great.
oh, that's a
That's
phenomenal
one of the
movie.
greatest films ever.
But
Bro,
the thing
that's
is, I be
great.
watching it too chopped, so it's just like, I know it's fire because I felt it being fire while I was watching it and into it, but then afterwards, it shit was just cloudy and like, I just barely remember the fucking character's name.
Yo, it's funny because now that I have a daughter, there were so many movies that I look back on that I'm like, wow, I watched this at her age.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been watching this.
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean? And I'm
That
like,
was too early
my
for
pops
me.
was fucking bananas. Why was he letting me watch this shit? Watching like fucking
It's entertainment.
weirdo movies, bro. You know what I mean? And I'll give you a good example, like E.T. I'm watching with her, and I realized just whether it be the profanity, I don't know. I think we just grew up real quick, man. I think because now this generation is so desensitized and shit, and so you know, they're a lot micromanaged and shit. You know,
but I don't know. They also have access to a lot of stuff that we didn't have access to. Imagine having access to Google 8 years old. That shit crazy.
I don't even.
That shit would be crazy. But who knows? Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
bro, nothing good is coming out of that.
Out of Google. Except they're just collecting your data.
How do you feel about the drones now? So the NYPD is gonna implement in the new budget. They're gonna implement drones. How you feel about that?
It depends how they decide to implement it. Like,
well, it's gonna be fucking.
I mean, it's different to just be ongoing surveillance, or like, you know, they trying to follow like you know, the way the same way they would use a helicopter. That's damn near a drone, but a drone is just more affordable. You can have more in the air.
You could have a lot more.
It definitely gives a lot, you know, a lot more power to the police department, and I just feel like probably a lot of people are a little sensitive about that because of just, you know, the politics around that right now. But I'm pretty sure there's gonna be scenarios where that shit could be beneficial. So it's tricky. So I'm pretty sure if the drone shit is used with good intent, then I'll be all for it.
I have a healthy respect for technology, but I don't trust it. You know, it's just
it's too crazy, bro.
Like I respect it, but I just don't trust the lack of privacy. I don't trust where this could go. Like, I don't want to talk to a robot that's feeding me my coffee. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, get out of here, robot.
I don't
want Terminator 2 to happen.
You feel me? Like, I was a kid. I know about Skynet. Don't play with me.
Right, Skynet.
Deaf to Skynet.
Cyborg.
I like that I could order Uber. You over here want to hail down a yellow cab. Fuck out of here.
Yo, you know what? I hear you, son. I do hear you, but not even. I be hopping the train. Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. Even that is the most essence of being New York, is just hopping the train.
I hopped one yesterday. Well, I fake hop one. I swiped and it said like, please use this turnstile again, and it just kept giving me that bullshit. And I tried to use the one right next to it that just used, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going over.
There was probably a stretch of like 2 years where I didn't pay for a single train ride.
Damn, son.
2 years maybe, like longest streak. I had the longest streak going in the city type shit. I was not paying for the train, son.
What the fuck is going on
here
that side of the town, son?
I seen that like fucking
what is going on that side of town?
Some comedy COVID video where like somebody like desanitizes the side of the shit so they could hop over it.
Yep, I seen that too. Yeah. Yeah,
I learned my lesson with the hopping. I have some horrible stories what happened.
I got caught once.
I got caught too, and then it was like, all right, let me just fucking.
When I was younger though.
Well, when I was really young, we just refused. We would just be like, you have to catch me.
Right, fuck that. Yeah. I'm not paying.
So you would run afterwards too?
We were out.
Oh,
I would never run from a cop.
Oh, we always ran from the cops.
Nah.
Truth be said, and shout out to all my South Brooklyn graffiti writers, because y'all taught me some next level shit. See, because in South Brooklyn the trains are above ground, right, kind of like a Harlem and shit, right? So they're above ground. So
J train.
You got the A, the B, the Q, the N, you know, all above ground, you know. So I clearly remember everybody hop, and this is the day and age. Everybody had a ratchet, and you know, you walking around razors, and you hop the train. Hey, yo, get over here! We was out, so we actually climbed the beams down the railings. Like we hopped on the tracks and then climbed the beams down.
That's wild.
Your man looked at us like, I got a few years to retire. I'm not chasing you.
Right, y'all can have it. Y'all good.
You good.
Y'all got it.
But listen, I give a lot of credit. Even with COVID, I noticed a lot more graffiti out in the open.
Oh, it's easy for them because they automatically wearing the face mask is just acceptable. You know, people are not coming outside.
Crazy. I was walking the boardwalk.
Businesses is closed.
Yo, there's a lot of new graffiti
easy
in the
money.
last 2 months.
Easy money.
Dope.
Easy money.
So
only dope if you putting up some dope shit. If you putting up some toy shit, it's not dope.
Speaking of COVID, so have you been filming during COVID?
Yes, I have.
Tricky?
Definitely. Not tricky at all. I follow protocols. But like when I'm dealing with a client, like in particular, like an organization or something, like they do the temperature check. I sign a little waiver. 6 feet apart. Keep the mask on the whole time. You know, it's politics. But yeah, but if I'm like dealing with, you know, somebody like a regular person type of shit, like, you know, whatever they're comfortable with, or whatever I'm comfortable with as well.
It's good, but it's good. I mean, COVID hasn't slowed you up.
Nah, man. I think now more than ever, people need content because your digital presence matters even more now. And on top of that, there's so many different apps and platforms that has its own different nuances, and you need to make content that caters to that particular platform. So like your party on Facebook is a different party from IG, which is a different party from LinkedIn, which is a different party from Twitter. So, you know, everybody needs content. Content from a personal point, you know what I'm saying? Maternity shoot, birthday party. Content from a, you know, you starting your side hustle, you a fitness person, you know, you do eyelashes or whatever it is. And then there's also organizations, so people need
shame
content.
all you slackers that ain't hollering at fee to get this shit done. We doing with COVID.
Nah, it's okay.
Yo, there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna wake up during
so
COVID.
I don't want some of them to hit me up, to be honest. I don't need all of them to hit me up, to be honest.
Yo, there's gonna be people that's gonna wake up out of COVID. They be like, yo, what did I do with all this time that I was sitting home cracking these checks? You know
I love designing my future, bro.
Yeah,
I love putting in work. You know what I'm saying? I love creating, and I love, you know, doing it for me.
Only way, man. Only way. Listen, even when the city got shut down, they're saying gyms, you can't go to the gyms. Well, you could still work out.
You could do push-ups.
What are you talking about? You could.
Yes,
I know plenty of people that are just straight swole, straight fit, and all they do is have a bar, and they go to the park and they rock that bar, like beautifully, pull-ups, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Tom Brody, wait, Tom Brody, your favorite music video? I need to know which one is your favorite out of all of them.
Damn, favorite. This is where I get stuck. I'm gonna go with just something that's memorable for me. I might go with I'm on a mission, special ed. Yup, special ed.
No, I'm talking about your music video.
Oh my, okay. Oh, the one you broke down. I think favorite one is gonna be maybe the storyline that we did. Probably Hammer.
Yo, Hammer was so fire. I think that's
the bank robbery.
Yeah, it's the bank robbery.
Yeah,
I think and this is again, this is a quick little lesson for all you artists that are listening. It's always better to be overly prepared than underprepared. You're always better off having all the nooks and crannies kind of ironed out. Always good to have a concept. If you have a good idea, pad and pen, write it down.
Yes, sir.
Get some of your friends to kind of co-host this or play characters, and yeah, man.
Don't just get high and think about it.
Correct.
Have that conversation, build, strategize. You know?
And if you don't got fucking solid friends, listen, there's plenty of platforms. There's plenty of platforms. You know what I mean? You could always play like you're bipolar and be multiple people, multiple personalities.
Word.
All right. So, that slowed me up. But yo, so when it's all done and said, you know, when we look at it, the context of this is basically you don't need a budget, you know, because we both know that there are films that kind of popped off, didn't have a budget. We were talking about this outside. So there's films, I just wanted to name a few that did this with no budget. And I say this because I want this to be a little inspirational for people who are listening to us and know that it's not always about the money, you know. So these are films that pretty much popped off with zero money, and you give me some feedback on how you feel about this. So Blair Witch Project, that was a 1999 film. 60K, they did this 60K, and it grossed 6.8 million worldwide.
Credit to technology. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Wow,
that's fucking.
I'll give you the hip hop version of this. Chief Keef just making music videos in his crib. And that's how he blew up, bro. That's what changed. That's what changed the fucking just the budget game. It's just like you don't need a Cisco video or a big pimping video or like, you know, everything don't need to be lavish. It's just like these dudes just really bought a fucking $2,000 camera.
A good idea camera. Is gold.
It's important to be self-sustainable, and that's what they did probably with the Blair Witch Project. It's just like you rather be you cut out the middleman, buy your own camera, so that way you do your own shit.
Hey, that's crazy.
That's such a come up.
That's 60,000.
And I'm pretty sure the value is only going to go up because it's going to be here forever. And that's a movie that's known to transform.
Exactly. And another one I found crazy. So Mad Max, the original 1979 film, the budget was $350,000.
That's a bag though. That's a lot of money though. 60K, I feel like is something that like that's really impressive. 350K, just like.
Right.
You could make some hot shit.
Well, they grossed, so with that 350 million on Mad Max, it was grossed worldwide 8.7 million.
So not even close to Blair Witch Project. Blair Witch Project is less money and
Blair
like
Witch is next level.
Wow.
Which goes and
but like the point is that both of these films are iconic and you know, cult favorites, and they started out with
Blair Witch is amazing. Even though when you watch part 2, you're like, oh yeah, I got your money up.
Right. Right.
Same thing with Halloween. I mean, listen, part 1, it looks super bootleg and low budget, but it's a cult classic. Cult classic. Napoleon Dynamite. You ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh my God.
Napoleon Dynamite, right? Pedro for president.
Right.
So $400,000 to make this film. That seems like about right, same side, $400,000, but it grossed $46.1 million.
But there's also a lot of $400,000 films that wasn't tanked. You know what I'm saying? They spent $400K to make it, but they probably made $12K.
Yeah.
But it's all good because they did it out of love, hopefully.
Yeah, that's a big fact. That's a big fact. And then I had another one that you're gonna do a backflip on. Super Size Me.
Oh yeah, that's a documentary though. I think he did that shit his own. He was like the producer, recording his own shit.
So
interviewing himself.
I had to watch a little bit of it because I knew of it at the time, but I never actually watched it. So because I wanted to mention it, I watched it. The shit is fucking horrible. I don't know how.
Oh, word?
I don't know how he got spin-offs on this. So he basically spent $65,000 on that film, and he grossed $20.6 million.
Yes, and
wait, hold on. Let me emphasize this: $20.6 million.
Yes, and you know what's even crazy? He spent most of the money on fucking McDonald's foods. You know what I'm saying? Like just eating that shit because he had to eat that every meal.
No, better yet,
he lived every kid's dream. And he made money off of it, yo. He bodied that. He bodied like.
So Morgan Spurlock basically ate McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a full month. And at the end of all this, he pretty much got a spin-off TV show. That's like, what? Are you serious? For eating McDonald's?
It was an important topic though. You know what I'm saying? Because he exposed a lot of shit.
That's
wild.
wild.
No, he damn sure did. Because then he got sick and everything after the fact.
Yeah, no, McDonald's got too hyper.
He put on like, I think he put on like 120 pounds or something.
120?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck around, get diabetes. Though.
But he's also wild. And if they gave him the option to supersize, he did it automatically or some shit.
Right. So we're gonna wrap this up. But before wrapping it up, I want to say one or two things in the sense of, again, you know, at this Cheers to the Real podcast, we are bringing up people who are passionate. They're pioneers in what they do. So I would urge you to tune in, check these two artists out, and again, just shout out to people, let them know how they could contact you, how they could build, how they could organize and get things going on. Yes,
sir. So to follow like my video, content, my video production work, that's PHE Films, PHEPHILMS at Instagram. And then, for the studio space, where Tom Brody has thrown classic events.
Yes,
I'm talking about 80+ Coney Island OGs pulling up.
Canvases.
I seen my son Tom Brody selling fucking canvases like hot pancakes.
Getting
you heard?
Saucy.
My
liquor.
Goodness.
Yo, we had people rolling in talking about. Is there a bar? Yeah,
it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Tom Brody don't have the next event in my spot. It's too. He brings too much people. He brings too much people. He needs a bigger venue. It's about time he needs a bigger venue.
I was like, no, I hope no one get locked up.
Yeah. But
you are renting the space out.
Yes.
For up and coming. Anyone with film, anyone with fashion, anyone with clothing.
We do pop-up shops, art shows. We had legendary artists pull up. Man, everybody from fucking DJ Clark Kent was in the fucking studio one time. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Goods the Animal, K-Shine, but through other people's collaboration with Fee Studios. But you can also check out Fee Studios, PHE Studios, on IG or the website.
And what we got working on now on your end? What we doing? New projects? I know you got new things in the back end.
Yeah, so the New York Renaissance Act 2 is actually on its way.
Nice.
Act 1 was one of my favorite projects.
Nice.
Got great feedback, and I also got the Verb TV vlog with Fee Films. You can find that on YouTube. And you can follow me at verbal_McMahon. That's MCMAHON.
Nice.
I'll be on my wrestling, basketball, chess, rap, hip hop, crazy shit.
Yes, sir. And the OGs are respecting it. Fucking Pete Rock shared the content. Ghostface Killer's been showing love.
Bro,
this shit is crazy.
It's real. And anyone that will see what you're doing, has to acknowledge and salute that it's New York hip hop.
Yes,
like
sir.
If I just listen to it, I'll be like, yeah, he from New York.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's the best. That's like one of the best compliments I could get.
And again, and no disrespect to people in Atlanta, Florida, you know, and out and about. But again, like being a native New Yorker, when someone says you sound like a New York lyricist, we take that as a badge of honor. You know what I mean?
Come on, kidding me? That's great. That's the best shit.
Yo, thank you for having us, my man. Cheers to the real. You heard?
Cheers to the real. Yes, sir.
Salud, 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 salud.
Cheers,
fam.
Tom Brody.
Salud.
Cheers to the real, good vibes only. Putting in work and recipes to all the homies. Yeah, money was the motive. Hood couldn't hold me. 100K made man, suckers looking phony. Yeah, cheers to the real, good vibes only. Putting in work and recipes.